Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to the late night football show. It's the Highbury Squad live post First League EFL Cup semi-final at Anfield. If you're not proud to be a Gooner tonight, then I don't know what to say. Let's go. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad. Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to another live edition of the Highbury Squad. We are coming at you immediately after the Liverpool v Arsenal match at Anfield. Welcome back to the show, my podcast brother from another mother, the man who won this cup in 1993, Super Kevin Campbell.
Squaddies, welcome in. Hit the like button as you come in. And at ease, let's do it.
Super Kev. I think we were all going into this match with a little trepidation, especially as we had seen Liverpool's lineup and the team that they had put out. And, with regards to all of the shenanigans, if you want to call them that, with the postponement, there was, I felt, going to be a little saltiness in the air tonight. My goodness, this team came ready to fight, and after 20 odd minutes, it looked like we could be heading for a drubbing. Let's get the elephant out of the room first, shall we, Super Kev? Xhaka gets sent off again. I just don't see how anyone can argue with the decision. It was another stupid mistake that could have cost us greatly. Super Kev, what are your thoughts on the big turning point?
It's a stonewall red card. For me, when it develops, if you watch it again, it develops. We're on the press. The ball gets turned over, Liverpool get out, and the ball gets transferred over to Robertson. Xhaka could get in position straight away. But he looks a couple of times. It's too late. Striker's off. Ball gets played. If he doesn't make that challenge, Jota brings it down and scores the goal. It's because he's stopping a goal-scoring opportunity, which he did do. So it's a red card. And we've seen it happen that many times with Xhaka. Are we surprised? No, I don't think we're surprised. But this is why we talk about our experience. Our experienced players have to be keeping themselves on the pitch. They have to. And Xhaka's the biggest culprit at the football club. Let's be honest. We give him praise when he's played well, Sophie. We do. We give him praise when he's... You know my thoughts on him. But I give him praise when he does well. Brilliant. But tonight, it could have been catastrophic for us. Luckily, it wasn't. We adjusted and, we had to make some drastic moves. But I thought we done okay. We dug in. We showed resilience. We showed tenacity. We showed a toughness about us, which usually at Anfield we don't see so. So to do that with 10 men is a great result right now in the first leg.
Yep. And, 2019, 2020, the legs at Anfield went to penalties. We won 1-5-4. They won 1-5-4. We did the double on them in the lockdown, beating them 2-1 at Anfield. We beat them in the Community Shield. As much as our record has been poor at Anfield, there's something about this Arteta team that doesn't mind playing this Liverpool team. And good evening to all 360 of you so far in live chat tonight. Hit that like button.
Come on.
Tell them, Kev.
Give us a tour. Tell them. We need a tour. 200 minimum. Come on, guys. Give us a tour. Hello.
bear with me as I put up all of your comments. You know, there's no super chats here. Everyone has their say. This is getting, for me, Kev. Let's just kind of take a beat for a second, because I'm all over the place right now. There's so much I want to say, and I'm going to try and compartmentalize everything for all the 400 people in live chat now. Keep those numbers going up, you guys. Thanks for joining us, because for so long, I want to caveat this with no one's getting excited about anything. And I feel like you have to do that as an Arsenal fan. And we've talked about having, been critical before, praising the team when they do well, criticizing the manager, praising the manager, criticizing the players, praising the players. The DNA and culture of these players, Super Kev, you always say when they cross the white lines, how are they going to perform? It's down to them. A senior player, like you say, makes a fundamental mistake again in a game, right? And I think that the way they came together as a team, the adjustments the manager had to make in order for that performance to be able to happen, but the players themselves, Kev, we've seen so many times. We went down 10 men against City. We lost that game, but we've gone down 10 men a couple times now, and we've shown a resiliency with these players that we've never seen before. Can you imagine Ozil, Kolasinac, Sokratis, Mustafi putting in that kind of performance?
No, it's all over.
As a player, talk to me what you saw tonight, because I saw lions tonight. Lions.
Like I said, Soph, there's a toughness. They are still so young, Sophie, and we know that they're talented. But Sophie, it doesn't matter how talented you are. If you don't have the work ethic, if you don't have the mindset, if you don't have that resilience, you won't make it to the top. You'll be a good team, but you won't ever get over the line. What I saw tonight was a team who wanted it, who wanted to defend, who wanted to keep Liverpool out, who took a pride in their defending, because they knew that they were gonna defend for long spells, Sophie. Let's be honest. We knew, they knew. It was just a matter of, I wonder if Liverpool second half are gonna really steamroller us. But we didn't allow that, and we even had a couple of goals chances at the other end, which you could say, hey, brilliant. Saka with a better touch. We could have got, but there's a few goals that got exercised tonight, Sophie. Sambi, who in the first half, they robbed him a couple of times, and I thought, let's see how he does. But he done wonderfully well in the end. Exercised the demon from obviously his first game there. I thought everybody put an incredible shift in. I thought Ben White was outstanding.
Okay, let's get to the player ratings, because it's going to allow us that conversation for the game. Good evening to 550 of you in live chat. What a night. I don't want to hear that Liverpool were poor. I don't want to hear that they didn't have Salah. I don't want to hear that they didn't have Mane. We didn't have Thomas Partey. We didn't have Tommy Yasu. We didn't have some of our players. We didn't have Emil Smith-Rowe.
Exactly. We had loads of players out as well. So let's not even go there.
Kev, look at our bench. Look at our bench, right? And I'm going to give credit to a player who I've ripped to shreds for a long, long time. But I have to say, one player's misfortune is another player's fortune. And we'll get to that. Kev, why don't you take us through the Gunners tonight, starting with the man in goal who probably didn't have his best game.
No, and that's the funny thing, Soph. That's the funny thing when you look at Ramsdale. The last time he had to be absolutely brilliant, because at times, after defending so well for a bit, he had to produce all them saves, and we still got done for, didn't we? But tonight, I thought, listen, I'm gonna give Ramsdale, I'm gonna give him a 7 tonight. He started off a little bit shaky, Sophie, but let me just tell you this. there's a couple of times where, and I know he came out and it didn't look brilliant, but the fact of the matter is he came for the ball. The one in the second half where Van Dijk was there and he came and punched it, didn't get a good punch. If he doesn't come, Van Dijk gets a good header back into a dangerous spot. So, still need a keeper to marshal that back five in the end, so very vocal. He done what he needed to do. His handling at times was very good. I'm going to give Rambo a 7 because I know there's some people thinking of, 6s and stuff like that. I'm going to give Ramsdale a 7 because keeping a clean sheet, no matter how you get it at Anfield, is still big. So we'll take that.
Yeah, he did get away with it in that first half, didn't he, Kev?
He got away. Yeah.
That was a kind of a Grobbelaar moment, if you like. Some people call it a Leno moment. I think that would be a bit unfair. A 7 from you. I'm going to say a 6.5. The great thing about what you just said, Kev, is that all of the players in front of him were that perfect last line of defense. So he didn't have to be the hero tonight. He was still vocal, even though he didn't have his best performance. All of his characteristics remained intact. So 6.5 for Ramsdale. And to be honest with you, in this game, Kev, we were down to 10 men. They had something like I'm going to get the stats up. 14 shots. Here we go. 17 shots. We had 3. They had 1 shot on target. We had 1 shot on target. To be honest, I didn't think they had any shots on target. They had 78% possession. We had 22. They had 683 passes. We had 199. They had an 85% pass accuracy. We had 47. We committed 7 fouls to their 4, 2 yellow cards, and of course the red card for Xhaka, and 8 corners for them, Kev, and 1 for us. That's kind of crazy considering that we were playing with 10 men.
Well, it only goes to show, Sophie. It's not all about possession, is it?
No.
It's what you do with it. It's always what you do with the ball. So, they've dominated the ball as you expect, even going down to 10 men. You expect them to dominate the ball even more so. We sat in a low block and just sat in just outside our box and said, come on, take us on. And I thought we done really, really, really well tonight to keep them out and to subject them to a lot of long-range efforts. So, if we're honest.
Yeah, and I remember people saying that Jota was going to absolutely destroy Cedric, and of course Cedric went off, and we're going to get to the player who came on to replace him right now, Kev. But 0 goals conceded at Liverpool, where this side is lauded, and let's be honest. They are one of, if not the best team in Europe alongside Manchester City right now. And, we were able to fend them off with 10 men. Who's next, Kev?
Obviously, Cedric. Cedric started and then had to go off with an injury. So I'm going to give Cedric. I didn't think he done anything wrong, really, Soph, but obviously got pulled up with an injury. So I've got to just give him a par. I've got to give him a 5 because he didn't really play a lot. So I'll give him a 5.
Do you want to do Chambers right after? Because Chambers played the majority of the game, really, didn't he? Cedric came off injured.
Yeah, well, yeah. Listen, I think
Cedric gets a 5 for me just for wearing the shirt.
I think obviously we adjusted the defense. So it was a lot easier for Chambers because he's got 3 centre halves in the middle. But he still had to perform, and I thought he grew into the game, and I thought he done pretty well. I'm gonna give Chambers. I give him a 7. So I thought he done pretty well. So I'm gonna give him a 7.
So Chambers is the player that I've repeatedly said how many times you have to see him, and I still think he's still that player, but the point is that unlike the midfield position, Super Kev, is that when you need players to come in, you need a few hybrid utility players. this is why letting Maitland-Niles go maybe prematurely in the window, let him go later on in the window after the 2 EFL Cup semi-finals in the North London derby. Chambers is a player that was in Arteta's favour earlier this season. He's a player that can come in and play right back, centre back, has even played midfield as well. He was a satellite dish tonight. He was everywhere, and I have to give him credit to be able to come in when you haven't been playing and perform like that at Anfield. Kev, for me, he gets an 8. I thought he was solid beyond what I've seen from him in the past and played really, really well.
Okay, cool. Next is Kieran Tierney.
I just think that in moments like this, you see there's a couple of times where I wanted him to slow the game down a little bit. There were a couple throws that went out that he kicked away where I felt like just slow it down. That could have been our ball, throw it in. But that is me being very picky in a game where not everyone, Kev, could play their game, their natural game. Mm-hmm. Now you're Jon Snow in the Battle of the Bastards. You've got them, they're coming and it's relentless and it's never ending and it's not going to stop. And I think he shows true leadership in those moments and he's so solid. For me, he gets an 8. Actually, he gets a 9.
A 9?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought Kieran Tierney done his job. I thought when we changed it to 5 at the back, obviously that allows him to get a little bit closer to the wide players. And I thought he had a solid performance. Very difficult not to hoof it or not to clear your lines when you're down to 10 men, because Liverpool want you to try and get on it and play, because that's where they nick the ball and that's where they're in at your defense. So we hacked a few. It was like a hackathon at that time, but I thought Kieran Tierney done fine. I give Kieran Tierney, I'll give him a 7.5. So
yeah, you know what? I might downgrade him for the hoofing squaddies. I agree with you. I'm going to give him an 8 because of what I was talking about with the throw-ins as well. I think you have to, if I'm going to be fair, you've got to equate the hoofing into that as well, Kev. I know it's hard, like you said, but yeah, still.
Okay. Gabriel, let's look at Gabriel first, Soph.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we started a bit nervy anyway. I thought there was a little bit of nerves, especially early in the first half. After about 15, 20 minutes, we were nervy, couple of slices and all that kind of thing. But I thought in the end, we done enough. And we've seen Gabriel dominate teams. Obviously, we went to a back 5, so you got to play your position, etc. Didn't really put a foot wrong second half. Get a clean sheet, so I've got to give an extra half a mark for the defense, because keeping a clean sheet at Anfield is really important. So I'm going to give Gabriel 7.5. So I thought weren't his greatest game, but that's because of his high standards. So I'll give him a 7.5. His standards are very high.
Yeah, I thought he was a bit sloppy at times, and sloppy even before the sending off. He had a couple of moments where he lost the ball. He seemed a little unsure of himself. I think he panicked in moments that he shouldn't have, but like everyone else, kind of gathered himself. And as we went down to 10 men and we had to build that siege mentality, I thought that he showed a good account of himself, and I'm going to give him a 7.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Benjamin White. What's your thoughts on Benjamin White today?
Sorry, I can't hear. I can't hear the haters.
Can't you hear himself? No.
Sorry, I can't. Kev, can you? Maybe a bit louder at the back.
I could see tumbleweed going down the road.
This show has stood by Mr. White from the day he was signed, and he's been harshly criticized for costing 50 million. I think what you need to be aware of, everyone, and you don't need me to tell you, is that in the British transfer market for British players, the sums are ridiculously astronomical. I mean, look, Man United paid 85 million for Harry Maguire. Who do you rather have at the back going forward in the future? He was superb. And you know what, Kev? He played like a captain tonight. Not only did he play his game, he played like a captain. He led. He put the team on his shoulders at the back there.
Today.
And everyone keeps,
other people.
Everyone keeps talking about Gabriel covering for him. He covered for everybody tonight. Benjamin White, you get a 9.5. And well done for going to see the away fans at the end and throwing your shirt into the crowd to the young fan. We'll get to the fans eventually, Kev. But Kev, tell me what you saw.
I gave Ben White a 9. I thought he was superb. Don't forget, we changed our system, and that could always be difficult because he's not played that at Arsenal, really, has he? He's not really played that at Arsenal. He's played it for Brighton, and he's played it with Leeds at times, but he's not played it at Arsenal. So it could have had an adverse effect, but boy, did he step up. So did he step up? I thought he was superb, and he was like a magnet. The ball, anything that came into the box, if Gabriel wasn't there, he was there to deal with it. And that there was one where somebody's hit a shot and he's cleared it. He's in the box and he's just cleared it out. Absolutely first class. He's on the ball as well. His passing was excellent. And you know, when you're down to 10 men, you need somebody on the ball at the back who could give good passes where people can deal with it. And that's what he done. So I give Ben White a 9. I thought he was superb and held that back five together. He was the glue today. Normally it's Gabriel. Gabriel needed his partner, Ben White, tonight, and Ben White stepped up.
Yep. And he did. He outshone Virgil van Dijk. Of course, you know, we know that he's a world-class defender, Mr. Van Dijk, and he's won a lot. He's won the Champions League and he's won the Premier League. But this is a player who's emerging at the Arsenal, Kev. And you know what? In games like this, I think that you need players to have moments, you know. And this was a signature game, a moment for him. By far his best game in an Arsenal shirt, you know. So
I thought he had some really good games. I thought he played well against Spurs. I thought he done well against other teams. But we were under the pump tonight. So this is where it matters. You know, semi-final away at Anfield. Who's going to step up? Step up, Ben White. He really did step up. And he looked the part. He was excellent tonight, Sophie.
It's great. It's great to see his signature signing step up, Kev. You know?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Especially when we're depleted, Soph.
Yes.
We were so depleted, but you know, injuries and stuff like that. So look, let's move on. Let's get to Sambi.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Paul Sambi had a nightmare at Forest. You know, he's had a couple of dodgy games, and let's be honest, we were all hoping that Xhaka would make this game to make life easier for Sambi in midfield. And this is why sometimes, and we all do it, we're reactionary to things. But again, Sambi's another play that we've supported, Kevin, said, listen, he's, you know, I've heard people saying send him out on loan. Just stop the madness with the sending him out on loan. He's 21. He was captain of Anderlecht. There's a reason for that. I thought he was great, Kev. I thought he was everywhere. And I thought that, again, this was a game where he really needed this performance after the Forest game. And talk about step up and take on the responsibility when the senior player next to you has let everybody down. Sambi gets an 8 for me. I thought that he was where he needed to be and he played like a lion. Everyone played like a lion tonight, but this was superb for his confidence.
I give Sambi 7.5, and I'll tell you why I give him 7.5. I thought he didn't start the game particularly well. I think they Again, they zeroed in on him and they robbed him a couple of times outside our box.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching him to see, let me see how you respond, Sambi. Let me see how you respond. But Sophie, I could tell you this much: at that time, he was going to get a 5.5. He responded superbly. He held his own in that second half. And a lot of the stuff that was good about our play at the top end of the pitch, he was involved in. Just getting the ball, keeping it moving around, always good tonight. So I'm going to give Sambi 7.5, Sophie. He laid the ghosts to rest. The ghosts of Anfield that he had his nightmare last time. He was a lot better, and he puts that to rest tonight. He'll be a better player now, Sophie, I believe, for coming through that game.
And again, Kev, we're giving player ratings based on moments and an arc of the game that we weren't expecting. We didn't think was going to happen. So the players have had to adjust greatly tonight, because not only did we go down to 10 men to a team, we went down to Liverpool at Anfield.
So true, Sophie. So true. And nobody would have given us a chance. Nobody gave us a chance when we went down to 10.
Yeah, I mean, I was really happy for him, Kev. Really, really, really happy for him. Thank you, Jamie, for tuning in and loving the channel. We appreciate you and all 863 of you in live chat right now. Speaking of legends, Super Kev, we're bringing him out. It's Vinny. We've got 860 in live chat.
Listen, if there's 800, we need minimum 400. We need
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
That's fair. Come on, that's fair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just caress it and touch it. Come on now. Bam! It's it.
Kev, would you have loved to have played in this game tonight?
Cup semi-finals, they're the ones.
No,
they're the ones, Sophie. Yeah. So whoever it's against, whoever it's against, these are the games that make you legends. Getting through the semis, because you cannot become a legend and a success without getting through your semis. So this is the one that we all want to be a part of. So 100. So 100%.
The DNA of these new players, the DNA of Ben White and Ramsdale and Gabriel and Sambi and Nuno to bounce back the way they did, Kev. I mean, it's very encouraging to see that after such disappointment from City to the Cup. Like they're just built differently to what we have experienced over the last few years.
Well, you know what, Soph? You know the trauma of the past. We're traumatized at times, Sophie, because of look at all the difficult games we've had where the game's over in 25 minutes. These players haven't got that on their shoulders. They're not traumatized by that, Sophie. Now it's a time where these guys can really focus, because you know what, Sophie? It won't take too much to really get this club moving. It takes a bit of heart and it takes a togetherness. And they're showing that, Sophie. And we respond to it. I know we're going to get to the fans at the end, but you could hear the fans all game.
You just love to see
they
it.
Were outstanding. The fans were outstanding tonight. Absolutely outstanding.
And we're gonna get to them at the end, because we did the Legacy of an Arsenal fan show with Gooner Russ and with Dan Potts and with Fergus as well. And we talked about the difference between home and away fans as well. They're going to get a rating too at the end. I'm pretty sure you guys can imagine what that is.
And some of those guys and ladies are not going to get home until the early hours, because they're going to have to drive back. Some of them who can't stay.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to drive back. We'll be on coaches. They'll be getting in the cars and driving back from Liverpool to London. It means a lot, man. It's important. And to go to Anfield and see your team fight. Do you remember we talked about it? When you go up north, They want you dead. They want to kill you and send you back down. Now, first leg, we go there with a depleted squad and we get a draw. And those fans could go on with a bit of a smile on their face, with a bit of ready for the second leg.
Totally. Hilsey was there. Hilsey, the Gooner, Fergus's partner on Guns and Yellow Ribbons, and he got caught on TV. And then Marky as well, our little Marky, who does a lot of great things for charity and diabetes. He was there, and I'm so happy for them, Kev, that train ride home or drive home is going to be so satisfying, like in a different way. Yeah, we didn't score, but they didn't score. Yeah, we went down to 10 men, but my goodness, to see your team perform like that at Anfield, that was pretty cool. Who's next, Super Kev?
Mr. Xhaka.
Do we make this swift with him?
No, we can do. Look, again, getting sent off, I just thought it was avoidable, Sophie. If you get people talk about him being in that position, the fact of the matter is it's a game of football. So sometimes you're going to have to be in a position. But what you got to do is you've got to get in the position early to save yourself. Soon as Robertson gets that ball, he sees he's in. All he needs to do is hit the space, and that's what he does. And Xhaka knows he's there. I keep hearing people talking to me about, he had his eyes on the ball. So what if he had his eyes on the ball? He didn't make contact with the ball. He made contact with Jota's belly, his stomach. It's a 100% red card. So anybody who thinks it's no red, Bonzo, you think it's no red? I don't know what to say to you, mate. I don't know what to say to you.
If that was against, if that was,
if that happens on Sunday,
yeah,
you're gonna be shouting red card all day long.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Thank you, Kev.
Listen, I'm gonna give Granit Xhaka. I'm gonna give him a 3. Soph. He started, and unfortunately, Sophie, we can't rely on him, Soph. He's a decent player, Sophie, but we can't rely on him because he does crazy things and puts us in harm's way. I'll give him a 3, Soph. I'm disappointed in him, to be fair, because we had a chance tonight.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any argument. You've got to be more sensible than that. And, last time he gave away the penalty, I said it was an idiot move. And everyone came at me and said, you're a Xhaka hater. And why are you calling him an idiot? Well, because he plays like an idiot sometimes. And tonight he had another idiotic moment. And Kev has wanted Xhaka gone for a long time. I defended Xhaka for a long time, even after the F-off at the Emirates and the shirt throwing. And I always felt like out of a team where we don't have great players, he was the best option of a bad bunch. We've all agreed that he is a better partner to Thomas Partey.
Right now, yeah.
And we've seen that. But Kev, at what point do you manage the liability, right? It's like having insurance. You have liability insurance. You pay your premium. Something goes wrong. You have to pay, excess.
Our excess has gone right through the roof.
And I think Colin Young has hit it on the head. He has become a dumpster fire. And you know what? I will have more respect for Arteta if he says, I can't trust you anymore. He's lucky the team played the way they did, Super Kev.
True.
Otherwise, we have another situation like City, don't we? Where the team have played their hearts out. They've played well. And here we go. He gets a 0 for me. He doesn't even get the 1 point for wearing the shirt. And that's a player I've met, I've liked, I've defended. You can't defend the indefensible. 0.
Okay.
Semi-final of a cup, and you're back, and we were
away.
wanting you to be back.
Away
and we're
at
away
Anfield.
from home. You had all the support of the fans tonight, Xhaka, because we felt like we needed you. And you let the players down. Like younger players like Sambi and Nuno showing more maturity in their adversity. What an absolute bell end. 0.
Okay. Well, let's move on to Bukayo Saka, who I thought had a really decent game. But for a poor touch here and there, might have even given us a lead at some stage. So I thought him and Martinelli worked so hard with Laka. I thought they worked their socks off. So I really did. I'm gonna give Saka tonight an 8 because he was a threat going forward. And he was getting back and playing his part in defensively because Chambers on that side needed him back. I thought he done well. There was balls that he got to that he had no right to get to. So he had no right to get to. But I've got to give them boys. I'm going to give all of them boys big respect because you know what, they were excellent. I thought Saka was excellent, especially attacking wise. So I give Saka an 8. So I hope he's okay because I'm not sure whether it was an upset tummy or what was wrong with him, why he got taken off. But I hope he's okay for Sunday.
Yeah. 1,015 of you in live chat right now. Thank you so much for joining us.
Give us 600. Come on.
Hit that like button
Hit the like button, please, peeps.
The performance, and if you can't wait for us to also give Tottenham a bit of a lion type performance this coming weekend. Kev, I'm going to do them together too, Saka and Martinelli. Here's what I loved, right, Kev?
Mm-hmm.
We see they had to play a different game tonight. Again, everyone did.
Mm-hmm. They
had to do things, especially like Martinelli having that kind of game, right? Saka's got a little bit more game time experience, but they both had to have so much discipline. And when you are so creatively minded and such an offensive player and you want to go forward, it's not easy. You've been in situations where you've had to play with 10 men, Kev. Your instinct is to go, right? It's to want to score and be creative. And I thought what they did tonight was absolutely sensational. For me, they both get 8.5. Young players putting the team, again, everyone had the team on their shoulders, but these young players performing the way they did, embarrassing Xhaka for being a senior player who couldn't do the same. I loved seeing them play the way they did. Do you think Saka should have hit that first time, Kev?
Yeah. You could see that, but I think the way it was coming to him, he just wanted to. Sometimes he wanted to make sure. He's thinking, if I get a touch here, I could put it in the corner. I don't think he even really crossed his mind to hit it first time, which you could understand. You've been for long spells defending, and then a little opportunity like that is coming at you pretty fast. Kieran Tierney whips it into him. So trying to get a touch, I could understand. Us watching TV would say, hit it first time because we could see it build, but I understand why he didn't hit it first time, but you just never know. Better touch might have given him an opportunity to put it in the corner.
Yeah. I just was really proud of those two. So they both get an 8.5 for me. Super Kev.
8 from me, but 8.5 from you. Lacazette, Soph, who you know what? I'm going to let you give Lacazette, and I'll speak after.
So I saw Laka getting a bit of criticism for not having as much energy, and there were a few folks on the old Twitter sphere saying that he looked like he was not engaged like he usually is. He worked his arse off tonight. Lacazette does things that people don't appreciate. And this was a game that everyone had to do things that maybe they wouldn't have to do ordinarily in a game. I thought that he led by example. Again. He's a total captain. These young players just love him. And I just thought, again, an 8.5 for me, that forward line having to do things that, took away from them maybe being able to enjoy the game themselves and the joy of doing their job in a different way. He never, ever stops grinding, Kev, ever.
He sacrificed himself, Lacazette, for the team, just like Saka and Martinelli did. What do you give him? 8.5, Soph?
Yeah, I'll give him an 8.5.
And I give Laka an 8, just like Saka and Martinelli. I thought he worked really hard. I thought a lot of his play hunting down midfielders was excellent. Because sometimes when you hunt the midfielder down and then you win it, sometimes you win it, you're in problems yourself because you got nobody in front of you. So you've got to try and win fouls, or you've got to try and find a quick 1-2. It's very difficult, but I thought he stuck to that task really well. And I just thought, as a collective, he's the captain. As a collective, we done really well to be able to see a game out at Anfield. You see them turn the screw. You see them turn the heat up. Normally, they score in the last 5-10 minutes. So you see them putting balls into our box, and balls are coming out, and they're getting possession again, and they're putting them back in. It's incredible. But we saw it through. So we've got to give credit.
They missed that open goal, Kev.
Well, listen. Hey, listen. You earn your own luck sometimes, Sophie. You earn your own luck. And the fact of the matter is, if they were getting chance after chance after chance, maybe he would have taken it. But they weren't getting chance after chance. So that's why he snatched at it. He snatched at the chance and put the ball over. So listen, we rolled our luck a little bit. Hey, you're gonna have to at times at Anfield. Look at the squad they've got. But wow, do you know what? I thought we were awesome. Obviously, I felt sorry for Eddie Nketiah.
I didn't.
Who obviously, he had to come off, didn't he? Because we went down. Because we went down to 10 men. So it's not really fair on him. I'll give him a 5, just like I would Cedric, because we had to adjust and change pretty early. And what's your thoughts on it?
And okay,
no,
so
there's Holden and Tavares, but we'll get to them in the end.
Cedric, I think I marked at the beginning. He gets a 5.
No, you've marked Cedric 5.
Yeah.
Nketiah
didn't really do anything. He gets, it's hard to even give him a mark, because it's like that feels kind of mean to give him a 3 when he was sacrificed, So I'll give him a 5 just because, in this competition, he's played well and he scored goals, and this is his jam. And I'm sure he was looking forward to having that opportunity again to play in another League Cup game. Yeah, I think that the manager made the right sub, but we'll talk about him at the end as well.
The much maligned Rob Holden.
I thought he did great. Is his hair getting longer and longer on top, Kev? That is quite the job. It's unbelievable. When he was coming on, I was like, who is that? Oh, it's Bob.
It's growing again. Magic. It's like magic.
I thought he did really well when he came on. Again, coming into a game like that, under pressure, having not performed well either in his last game.
At Forest.
Yeah, he was shocking. I'll give him a 7. I thought he came in, did the business, and didn't make any glaring mistakes.
I agree with you, Soph. I give him a 7 as well. He looked pretty assured, to be honest, when he had to. Didn't have much on-ball situations, but when it came to defending, he had to defend properly. So fair play to him. And Nuno Tavares.
I was stoked for Nuno, Kev. I've been a huge fan.
Yeah, good to see him come on.
Yeah, I've been a fan. I've loved his tenacity, his bravery. I love that he doesn't hide in games. He's willing to make mistakes, and that's sometimes not a good thing. Of course it isn't. But to bounce back after being substituted in the first half and come into the cauldron where you did not perform very well the last time you were there, I thought that he did really well and deserves a solid 7, Super Kev. Do you agree?
I give Tavares a 6. solely because I don't think he wasn't on a long time. But I thought what he done, he occupied them down that side, and he had to track back quite a bit. So I'll give him a 6. You give him a 7, and that's fair.
He gets the extra mark, Super Kev, because of the adversity, because of what happened to him in the previous game, and to bounce back like that. So yeah.
Okay. The manager. So, what do you give the manager?
I thought Mikel Arteta, under intense pressure, with Arsenal fans being kind of furious that we've left ourselves vulnerable in the midfield position, to come back from the adversity of Xhaka being sent off and having to make bold decisions to shift things around, bring on the right players. And at halftime, I think he's proving somewhat that whatever he says at halftime works mostly. And I think you have to give him an 8 today for doing what he did and putting the team in a position to be able to get that type of result. Now, I do believe that I've seen him with the other players we used to have, and you couldn't inspire them at all. You know what I mean? They were, you said
Lifeless.
they were uncoachable at one point. So I do believe that he has that DNA and culture in the player now that you've especially talked about when you cross those white lines, what you're going to get, who's going to fight for you. And today I felt like they all fought for the badge, not for their individual selves. They fought for the badge. And we haven't seen that in a long, long time. So he gets an 8.
Yeah, I'm going to give Mikel Arteta an 8 as well. I thought, obviously, with a depleted squad, we had a dead 11 mostly to choose from. Xhaka goes and gets sent off. Biggest game of the season. And then the adjustment of moving from a 4 to a 5, taking Eddie off and slipping Lacazette back into that hole as well, and just soaking pressure up. We'll deal with it. We'll see it out. And then even having a bit of a goal in the second half at times. Got to give the manager credit. Got to give him some credit. So I'm going to give the manager an 8 as well, Sophie. I think it's a really good draw for us, considering the circumstances. And, it's good to see this team, as you said, fight for the badge, fight for the honour of Arsenal. That's the other thing. It's the honour of Arsenal. Arsenal are a huge club. Arsenal's our club. And seeing players fight for the honour of Arsenal in a cup semi-final and not just capitulating and laying down, that means a lot. So well done to Mikel Arteta and well done to the team. And so what do you give the fan base tonight? Because I think we agree on this one.
Yes. And look, there's 1,030 people in live chat. And I think collectively we will all give our fans a standing ovation. Our away fans, well done. You outsung them. You outpassioned them. You outplayed them. You outdid them. You were the pride and joy of all of us tonight. For those of us who couldn't be there, well done, Super Kev. That's incredible. The type of atmosphere you love playing in front of, when our away fans were on it like that.
Oh, away fan base behind you, where usually it's the Anfield crowd are their 12th man. Arsenal needing an 11th man, because we went down to 10 men and it was the fan base. 10 out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10 for me. That fan base, I thought, that was absolutely sensational. Absolutely.
Yeah, they really were. And they never let up. And they never gave up. They never gave up on the team, because you know why, Kev? As a fan, I've waited so long to be confused about what player name I want to put on the back of my shirt. And for years, I haven't put a player's name on the back of my shirt because I've just focused on here. And right now, those fans, I was talking to my cousin George during the game, and we were both saying, and he goes to a lot of home and away games, that you're falling in love again with Arsenal players. And that hasn't happened in a really long time. As a fan, that matters to know they give a shit the way we give a shit. And that's been the difference. And I credit the players and the DNA they have and the profile as professionals. But you also have to give credit. And yes, people, shocker, Arteta credit to bringing them together. And Edu, who's a bit of an unsung hero in all of this.
He was much maligned, wasn't he?
Very much so, Kev. And Edu, I think, doesn't get the credit because behind the scenes you don't. But it's his vision. He's the one that was there first. He had a lot to do with Arteta coming in. And in his mind, he knew what he wanted Arsenal to be because he was part of the greatest time in Arsenal history. One of. There have been a couple. You were part of the previous history. So as a fan, Kev, it's amazing to see.
Great feeling, isn't it? Great to see, great feeling. To see Arsenal and the fans connect, I think is important. Listen, Edu, one thing I've got to say, we need you to get busy. We need you to get busy. We need you to get some players in. But you know what, Edu? Credit to you. Credit to you. And you've come under a lot of pressure. Let's be honest. And I think we've got to give some praise to the unsung heroes sometimes as well. So there's been some changes in the background, hasn't there, at Arsenal? And the way Arsenal are going now, it seems to be going in the right direction. We're starting to see players who care. So that really does help. It really does.
Definitely. And someone wrote that I've always loved the players, or we should always love the players. It's been difficult. We fell in love with Ozil. We fell out of love with him. Santi was easy to love. Alexis Sanchez was easy to love. Fell out of love with him, Kev. Sokratis, Mustafi, Kolasinac, Bellerin, we loved him for a while, fell out of love with him. So this is different. What happened tonight was really special. Enjoy it, inject it, soak it up, soak it in. And Magic Mike, congratulations to Jake for getting into his preferred university.
Brilliant.
It's been a good evening all the way around.
Well done, Jake. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's it, Kev. That's all we've got time for. I'm sure all 1,000 people in live chat want us to stay and wax more lyrical. But the truth is we're going to be back tomorrow for Kevin Says. Kev's lined up 3 top shelf questions for you. Always remember, come prepared, because Super Kev comes prepared every single Friday. You can catch me on Sky Sports tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I will be lauding our team for the performance tonight and looking forward, Kev, to the North London derby. Super Kev will be at the game on Sunday.
I will be pitch side on Sunday. So we better win.
Otherwise, Kev,
we better win. I'm telling you, we just better win. There's going to be some brucking up going on. Oh, man. We got to win. We got to win. And
we do.
Sophie, I am on with Jamie O'Hara.
It's me and Jamie. Come on, Kev.
Yeah.
Kev, I'm going to get the real one out. Come on, Kev.
Listen, Brock, listen, Arsenal need to win so I could lord it. Come on, Gooners.
I bet he's squirming tonight having to broadcast after an Arsenal performance like that. But you know what to do, Kev. Come on.
Take his head off, Soph. That's it.
Oh, brilliant stuff. Well, look, we'll see you guys on Friday. Absolutely enjoy the performance tonight. We have ups, we have downs. We get passionate, we get emotional. Some of us are sensible. Some of us are here, there, and everywhere. But one of the things that we all have in common is that we love our football club. I will hand it over to the legend that is Super Kevin Campbell to close the show.
Squaddies, thank you for joining us, especially after the game. It's a game that we thought we might need snookers in, but we didn't. Xhaka made it difficult, but the boys brought us through with a nice draw, sets it up for next week. Thanks, Sophie, for this post-game show. You squaddies, you know we love you. And all those fans traveling home, travel home safe. Squaddies, whatever you do, be happy and take care. At ease, squaddies.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.